1692 means we got shots fired at 4:15 ASF.
Moments ago, we mentioned that Vice President Mike Pence, well, he had a solemn and emotional visit to Las Vegas yesterday. And during his remarks, he took a moment to recognize the heroes from the tragic night last week.
We find hope in the everyday Americans, whose heroic actions in the face of unspeakable evil inspired the nation. Among the heroes, known and unknown, a mom who shielded her 4-year-old daughter with her own body, a father who helped guide others to safety even though he'd been shot not once but twice, an off-duty firefighter who told his wife she had to run but he had to stay to help those in need, and an Army veteran who rushed to the scene to find his girlfriend and her mom and ended up carrying the wounded off the field. These were everyday Americans.
Remarkable stories of the selfless spirit and the American spirit, too. For more on this and the investigation of Stephen Paddock and his possible motivation, let's bring in the Lieutenant Governor of Nevada, Mark Hutchison, who joins us now. Lieutenant Governor, thank you. First off, is there anything significant that you can share with us that authorities may be learning about Paddock and why he committed this carnage?
Well, what we continue to do is to comb through every aspect of his life. The investigators are working very hard. We've followed up on over 1,000 leads. We've got well over 100 investigators on this matter currently, Eric, and we continue to look at every possible piece of evidence or every lead that we possibly can. What we really need now and what we've asked for is the public's help. If anybody knows anything about this situation or about the shooter or any events leading up to it, we're asking that they contact the Metropolitan Police Department or the FBI, and we've engaged in an information campaign, 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's the most helpful thing that we can do at this point.
Yeah, and there's talk of a possible undiagnosed mental illness. I mean, obviously something put him over the edge. Any new revelations about that?
Well, just rational human beings don't do what we saw on Sunday night. And this is an action of an absolute evil, depraved individual. We continue to look hard for any motives, and we'll continue to do so until we have all the information we possibly can glean and get some answers.
The New York Times reports this morning that Mary Lou Danley, his girlfriend, is saying that he recently had, quote, a deteriorating mental and physical a situation. So something, she says, was making him deteriorate, whatever that was. Any indication on that and what authorities say him having an apparent secret life by buying all these weapons for all these years?
Well, again, those are the leads that we're following up on, Eric, and that information is some of the information that we're asking the public for. There may be friends or individuals who were associated with him, people in the past who maybe can shed some light on what's happened here, as well as the current situation. But we're looking at all those leads and all those pieces of information.
He also apparently was prescribed diazepam, which is, it's Valium, an anti-anxiety medication. Can authorities get access to those medical records, talk to the doctor who apparently prescribed Valium to him and why he had it? And, the indications, could that possibly been a triggering event to potentially contribute to this?
Yes, in a situation like what we're looking at now with this kind of investigation, investigators will be able to get access to all that information, to be able to interview doctors, to look at medical records, and to evaluate really what happened in this killer's life that would cause him to do such heinous acts. And so that's, again, Eric, more of what we're looking at and evaluating. I know that we're all looking for answers. It's really only been about a week, and this killer doesn't fit the typical profile as you've been reporting. We didn't have a suicide note. We don't have really much of a presence on social media. We know of no one right now that he alerted this event to or what he planned to do. And so we continue to comb through all those records and interview as many people as we possibly can. Is
there any indication, do you think, that this was all, that was intentional? He didn't have a social media footprint at all. He is, in his 60s, and he's not the millennial generation, so you may expect him not to be on Instagram and Facebook and all that. But, there's like nothing here. Practically, at least that's what is publicly being reported.
Well, that's part of the challenge that the investigators have. It's part of the challenge that law enforcement has, that there aren't any traditional signs of a massive killing that's about to take place, or a killer who wants to communicate his motives or his reasons for doing so. And so this investigation is going to take a little longer, Eric, than maybe we're otherwise accustomed to in these kind of situations. But I could not be more proud of Joe Lombardo and the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI. I couldn't be more proud of our first responders, of our medical personnel. I couldn't be more proud of the Americans who helped each other through a terrible night and showed the true spirit of what it means to be an American.
And we're coming up to a week, obviously. Your thoughts as you stand there on this Sunday, the heroics that we saw, the selflessness, and also the worst of mankind, and also some of the best.
Well, this is my hometown, Eric. I was born and raised in Las Vegas. I've raised 6 children here. What we saw on Sunday night was our darkest day, but we also saw our finest hours. The response that we saw, as I said, in ordinary Americans, in our medical personnel, in the people at that concert, in the mothers and the fathers and the brothers and the sisters who shielded each other and who blessed the lives and saved the lives of so many individuals. It's just in the highest and the best traditions of Americans and Nevadans and Las Vegans, and I just couldn't be more proud of my city and my state and my country.
Lieutenant Governor Mark Hutchinson, thank you. You know we're with you and the people of Las Vegas. Godspeed, sir. Thank you.
Eric, thank you very much. And as we come to the close of this week, I want to thank you. I want to thank everyone across the world, the American people, for the comfort and the love and the prayers that they've provided to this city. We felt it. And the victims felt it, and so have their families.
That's very heartening and comforting for us. Thank you. Right, Thel?
Yep, and the prayers will continue for sure.